So anyway, thanks for agreeing to answer some of my rather ignorant questions about dung beetles, but I really want to be enlightened after doing all this trapping.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit about what they're all about.
Yeah.
So first of all, I just want to ask this rather simple question. What actually do they do with all this dung? Why on earth do they go around collecting dung? It seems like a strange habit.
Yeah, at least for human beings.
What's the game?
Purpose?
Yeah.
Well, they feed on it and then they breed on it.
So they eat it.
They eat it, just the adults and the larvae as well. And then they would use it to make nests and lay their eggs there. So that would be for both.
So it's really a multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose thing.
Yeah, and it's their main food source.
Well, for most of the dung beetles it would be, but then lots of dung beetles also feed on carrion, which is quite general as well.
And they
would use it
sleep
for
in that as well.
Well,
I don't know which is worse, carrion or dung.
Well, I mean, they would use it for the same purposes, eating and then laying their eggs in it. So similar.
But how exactly do they make use of it? I mean, often when you think of dung beetles, people have this idea of them pushing big giant balls of dung. Is that true?
Yes, that's true in some cases of dung beetles, but definitely not all. I mean, it depends on the beetle, on their size and like what kind of dung they use. But like here in Madagascar, there would be, these are called rollers that would make a wall and then roll it further away.
So that's just one kind of dung.
Just one kind. Yeah. Then the other one would be tunnelers, which would make a tunnel quite close to the dung path, and then drag some dung down there and use it there.
So that they don't make the ball at all. Though.
Not all.
Okay.
Yeah, but even the ball making would then make a tunnel and bury it. So that's usually.
And they lay like an egg in the.
Yeah, so they would make a tunnel and then they would cover the walls with the dung or carrion, whatever, and then lay the egg nicely in the middle.
Oh right.
So that would be the nest.
So it's like protected underground, or why put it underground?
Yeah, protected, and then also, I mean, having the dung there, that's the food for the larvae.
After bringing the contents of the traps back to the camp, we had to sort them. It was unavoidable that the traps would attract more than just dung beetles. Other victims included flies, cockroaches, spiders, even small frogs. We had to painstakingly go through them with tweezers and take out anything that might be a dung beetle. I'm not a dung beetle expert, and there are plenty of other beetles that look suspiciously dung beetle-like to my eye. We put all the dung beetle candidates into tubes containing alcohol to preserve them. These would eventually make their way to a lab in Helsinki.
So we've been here some days now, and I know that the results haven't been fully analysed. We haven't had time. They're going to go back to the lab in Helsinki. Mm-hmm. But can you give some impressions of some results that we have found so far? Are they what you expected? Or?
Well, pretty much what I expected before. We have found about 25 species so far, which is about the number that one could expect in one locality in Madagascar. There are surely some 10 species which are new to science. So this area is new to science. Yes.
Oh right.
This area is relatively poorly studied and known.
Yeah.
We have found interesting patterns in the occurrence of species in the forest in relation to elevation, which is one of the interesting findings.
So there are different species in
different species at different elevations along the mountain slopes.
Okay.
And more generally, this trip will produce one data point in a large number of data points from Madagascar, which we then will use in a more comprehensive analysis of the ecology, evolution and geography of species in Madagascar.
Okay, so it's a real nationwide study. Overall.
Yes, we are covering all of Madagascar with the aim of getting a good understanding of the geographical ranges, distributions of different species, We collect information on the ecology of different species, and we are constructing a molecular phylogeny, evolutionary tree showing the relationships, the evolutionary relationships of different species. And really the main idea is to put all this information together and produce a synthesis of the full story of the evolution, ecology, geographical distribution of species here, which is the product of this 30, 40, 50 million years of evolution. All these species only occur in Madagascar, and this is an important point.
All of the species?
All of the species that we are studying only occur in Madagascar. They have speciated here, they have evolved here, and so the set of species of dung beetles here comprise one kind of entity which we are studying as an entity.
As well as enjoying the rainforests, it was great to just be in Madagascar and get a brief glimpse of the nation's culture and people. All the Malagasy people who I encountered seemed genuinely friendly, easygoing, and were often interested in our purpose there. Even telling them that we were there to count dung beetles didn't seem to faze them too much. There were a few Malagasy students in our team, and it was really good to have them with us. Cheers guys!